Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monster Report Live here on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you're joining us in the chat, tell us if our audio's in good shape, and we'd love to hear from you. The Monster Report's a show highlighting those entertaining creatures of film history. Your host, Nick Adam. Yes, that is my real name. And we're just glad to have you here today for an update on Titanic Creations. And I've got my special guest and co-host coming up in here in just a minute, but we'll get a few things out of the way. Thank you, the Butler, for being in the chat and being first to get in. I imagine I know who the Butler is. Might know the guy from somewhere. Before we get into it, if you are interested in Cavity Colors, all kinds of cool stuff that they've got going on, we've got a discount code for you. So check out Cavity Colors. Go there. Use my discount code, Monster Report 10. You can use it once per household or per party, I guess per login, actually. So if you have multiple people in your household, one wants to log in, use it, and you get 10% off of your entire order. So check them out. I'll put that up in the show notes, and we'll probably put it in a banner at the bottom of the screen here very shortly. Bring in my guests here in just a second, but of course, the topic of conversation is all things Gorgo and everything that Titanic Creations has done for the figure, the latest figure release that's going to be coming up for us soon of Gorgo, and their awesome work they've done. But first, a little trailer for you to get you in the Gorgo mood. Excellent. Good to have you back here. And I'm going to bring in my co-host and our guest. We've got fellow YouTuber, GodzillaFanFreaks, Everett. How you been?
I'm doing fantastic. And might I just congratulate you again on that fantastic job on that trailer. I love it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all kaiju content creators and a fellow content creator here in Everett. And if you're not a content creator like we are who do podcasts and video episodes on YouTube, you might be a toy maker like our good friend Mac, Titanic Creations CEO. Mac, good to have you. How have you been?
Good. How have you guys been?
Excellent.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I got him right here. There we go.
And what's so cool about content creators of all kinds is toy makers are welcome as content creators too, because I'll tell you this much: I've never made a toy, never commissioned a toy to be made. This is awesome and a truly unique creature in Gorgo. And we've had you on before kind of talking about what was the inspiration for bringing Gorgo over, and the truly unique way that you can get the rights, the licensing to get a figure made of Gorgo. There's been other figures made, but this is definitely a first for collectors out there, kaiju collectors. So tell me about, how was it if they didn't see us in our first episode, kind of what helped you to get the license for Gorgo and inspired you to go forward with creating a toy for us?
So really kind of backtracing. So when I was last on the show, was right when we were starting everything. So we were trying to, get people to sign up, pre-order, make so that we could make this happen, which luckily, thanks to people like you guys doing shows like this and everything, it actually did happen. So kind of recapping though, we started doing this last November is when we were able to reach out to VCI, who had the merchandise rights to Gorgo. We had to negotiate with them, try to get that all sorted, and then that got all figured out. And then it was all just about finding the right audience who wanted Gorgo. And then here we are in end of August, rolling into September, and this guy will be shipping out in about 3 weeks, I think.
That is awesome. And as I understand it, and Everett, if you want to take on the next question, but I was just going to mention it started out just as the figure itself, but then as your orders started coming in, you had goals of adding to the kit, basically. And how did that progress, and what did we ultimately end up with?
So just starting out, right, you're supposed to get this guy, right, your little, SH1 Star's articulated Gorgo. Sorry, I'm going to hit everything. But so after things kept growing, right, first thing we unlocked was the baby, which came basically at the funding goal. He's about that tall. But then you got your little Bell sub.
Nice.
It's scaled to the mom, because if I would have done it to the baby, it would have been microscopic. Right? After that, we got 3 jets. I don't have them on me right now. I'll have them later in the show when they get back. They went on a little trip today. But so those are 3 jets. They come with a nice little stand that they're all in scale with this. You can pose them around Gorgo. After that, the big one was the good old Big Ben Tower that you get to include. It's scale exactly about how big Gorgo is in the film. This part here can pop off, not on this one, because this was the sample they sent me where they glued it together for some reason. So that's great. Yeah, so you get this guy, right? And then we unlocked all of that. And the next thing was we were able to reach the 750, where it comes with this alternate head that you'll be able to pop this one off. And this other head, the eyes glow in the dark. And if you've ever seen the film, Gorgo's eyes are basically like blood red the entire time. So it looks just like that. It still keeps the little black pupils at night. So it doesn't look like, just big red eyes on the monster. But so yeah, all of those were unlocked thanks in no small part to the amazing amount of pre-orders we were able to get.
That is awesome. And yeah, Everett, before we go to the chat, any questions, comments you'd have for Mac?
I just think it's just outright amazing. It's fantastic what you've been able to do acquiring this. And I think the glow in the dark eyes, especially when you did that little like snippet video of how it works, I thought that just looks phenomenal. I think that's way better than going the original LED light route for sure. My question is, so what's the company, because I know Dope Pope was behind the sculpt and everything, but as far as the manufacturing and everything, putting it together, what was that company that you used?
So we work with our suppliers in China that put them together. We actually created a new relationship for this one because our original supplier, who we worked with for Titanicus and the first 4 figures, we sent them the sculpt, right, which has all these, joints, you can open and close his mouth, all the things, right? So they get back to us and they're like, so you wanted to make it a solid statue? And I'm like, no, we don't want to solder all of these. I sent you, it's like, because this thing is close to 55 pieces that we put together, right? And so, but we had to find a new supplier there. We ended up finding this great place out. It's a name that no one would care because it's like Long Island Plastic Dongong Toy and Gift Company.
Wow.
But they were great. They helped us get this done extremely fast, especially considering, like, if you look at how long Super 7 takes on a release, it's close to 18 months.
Yeah.
And we finished this guy, basically when we finished taking pre-orders was the end of May. So that's when we knew what we were going to make, and then this is going to ship end of September. So that's right around 4 months it took us to go from finishing the campaign to shipping.
That's incredible too, because I know the original release date was like the end of October leading into November. So the fact that we're getting it basically the end of next month, that's just amazing. So bravo, great job.
I mean, it's always crazy when you do like some crowdfunding, right? That actually ships on time, let alone early. So that was kind of our goal from the beginning.
That's great.
And we'll get to the chat here, and I just want to let everyone know who's in the chat and our viewing audience here that we've got a giveaway here at 8:30 Eastern time. So in about 20 minutes from now, we've got some Gorgo trivia for you guys. So, and for the chance to win something, it's not Gorgo related, but it's Godzilla. We're all big giant kaiju fans here, and I will personally send you my Life magazine, Godzilla King of the Monsters. This came out, what was this? This was this year, 2023, and I got an extra copy actually just for you guys so that we can do a little giveaway here. I was talking to these guys before the stream. I have a old 1962 Gorgo's Revenge comic book, but this one's mine. This one I'm keeping. So somebody out there in the chat will get themselves the Life Godzilla magazine. Let's get some chat in here. And if you have a question for Mac in the chat, let us know. Danny Jimana, good to have you from the Godzilla novelization project and part of the Erica Kickstarter. Also a great content creator. And we got Dr. Velociraptor, who's dressed as Godzilla in a nice suit today. Very nice. ZillaFan85, glad to have you on the live stream. Gojirasaurus, I'm looking forward to owning the new remastered release. I'm guessing he's probably talking about the Vinegar Syndrome, which that's so cool, Mac, that you guys started this. You work with Matt Frank, and then Vinegar Syndrome releases theirs and uses art from Matt Frank. And so... Yeah, did you kind of know ahead of time that there was going to be another 4K, a new 4K release? Never been released on 4K.
So I knew, man, I probably knew 3 months before it came out, just because Matt told me. Because if you got the 4K release, some of the artwork that we had Matt do is actually in that, and we had to give permission for him to, use it for that as well, right? Like if you open up the, it's the one with like the anatomy, right? That's the same illustration that's on the back of the Gorgo box. So I knew a little bit ahead of time, but it wasn't like we made the figure knowing that this release was going to happen. So it worked out really great that everything kind of fell into place.
Oh, I know. And I thought I might be able to grab it here. I thought I might have it on my discs, but it is I did an unboxing short, and it's such a cool release. And that 4K picture is amazing. The Blu-ray that VCI did was awesome too. But this 4K, just incredible. And especially if you got it yourself a really nice big 4K TV, but that's so cool. It's kind of like you'd almost got Gorgo trending somehow. But if I had to guess, go ahead.
Yeah, it was very strange. Yeah. I'm sure everyone had it kind of in the back of their head before me, but
Well, yeah, I'm going to tell you to take credit for you. So we've got Jedi Granville. Walter, good to have you. Needed unboxing of Gorgo. Looked amazing. Mac on Twitter, or X, now it's called. Yeah, whatever. You did a pretty cool unboxing of it yesterday on your Twitter, and I know that's probably still out there for people to check out.
Yep, so it should still be on our Twitter, and then I should have the full box here in about like 10 minutes that I can unbox for you guys as well, just so you guys can see it.
That box was very cool too. Was that artwork also Matt Frank, or was that
Yep. So he did the whole wraparound box. He did, and I'll show it to you guys when I get here, but so it's got the front of the box is like the circus and kind of the scene in the film where you see Gorgo in the background at the circus driving through, and then it wraps around the sides. It really makes it look like the monsters, storming through the city, right? And that's really kind of our design language for boxes for the past 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, for everything. Yeah, Titanic Creations and GodzillaFan85 managed to do the pre-order for his just under the wire. I'm super excited for the figure. Looks like you guys at Titanic Creations did an awesome job. Absolutely. In fact, Everett, didn't you have a special guest that you had acquired from Titanic Creations?
Yeah. No, I forgot to grab it.
Yeah, I was gonna say while he grabs that, I'll get a couple more in the chat. Good Josaurus have you bring Gorgo home to Kaiju collectors. Danny Demana, the turnaround of this figure has been incredible. Job well done. And there's our plush Gorgo.
Yeah. Oh, great.
And yeah, Mac, was that happened a couple of months ago? Yeah, hi Kitty. I love cats too, so they're all good. The plush, obviously that was a quicker turnaround in a lot of ways. Is it because different manufacturing, and of course plushes don't require maybe as much as an articulated figure?
So the biggest thing with the plushie is there's no big steel mold, right? That has to get made. Yeah. And we only made 250 of the plushies, so those got done basically in 2 weeks, and then just had to get shipped here. So that was the big thing, right? So actually, I just got it. Let me move this out of the way. But yeah, so this is the big, beautiful box.
Oh yeah. Let me
see if the glare's terrible, but so
I'm going to give you a solo layout.
There we go. So there's the front of the box. See the Dorkin Circus here, right? You have the little
beautiful
churches. And then you have the city skyline in the back, and then the little Ferris wheel. I mean, not the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster here. And then we roll over this side. We have some destroyed stuff with some clouds, and the clouds roll over to the front of the box as well. And then on the side, right, you got some more of the downtown. If you remember from the film, the guy who has the little sign saying "repent" and everything, Matt included him right there. And then on the back is the big, beautiful piece of artwork. This poor box has gotten dented a little bit because he got to go to San Francisco, and I don't think the TSA really cared about my bags a lot. But there you
nice.
Go. And then, of course, the name of the company on the top.
That is awesome, and I am so just stoked to get that. And the shipping for the I saw the pictures you had posted of them all wrapped up on the pallet, ready for shipping. So, what's the timeline on that and doing the shipping out?
So those left Shenzhen, I want to say 2 days ago. So then it takes 2 weeks from China to get to LA. Once it gets to LA, they have to clear customs, which could take anywhere from 12 hours to a week, right? That's kind of the stress point, right? And then from there, it's 10 days. They're railed to Denver, and then we get them from Denver, and that's how. And then they'll get shipped out. So the goal is by the end of the month, September, you can expect them to be shipped out. And then there was on a video we also put out. One thing we had the factory do this time we haven't done before is we had them just put them all individually in shipping boxes. So what this means is that we don't have to because there's only me and then whoever volunteers around in my family to help put together boxes. So previously it would take us a few weeks to go through a pre-order set because of so many boxes. But this time we were able to get them to put together the boxes beforehand. So all we got to do is open it, make sure everything looks good inside, right? Don't have a random head floating around inside the box, right?
Yeah.
But then we just check it, we slap a label on, and we should be able to get all 900 out in a week from when we receive them, and then from there it's another week for everyone to receive them on their end.
Okay, and I'll ask you, going forward after I get caught up a little in the chat here about, if you can still order plushes, the figure, and what else maybe Titanic has to offer. So, but before we get to that, and while Everett thinks of any kind of questions you have going forward, Lizard King Productions, good to have you.
Hey.
Yes, sir. Titanic do the okay? This question from Mac. Will Titanic do other M1 variant colorways for Gorgo?
We've been looking at doing a lot of colorways. One thing we're going to do is I want to do is like a very comic book accurate, that lighter green, right? Because he's very dark.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, M1 did so many different ones, and then there's quite a few different colorways you can do, right? But also don't want to just get to the point where just printing out reprints, right? Because part of the fun of having this figure is that it was a very limited release of 1,000 pieces.
Absolutely. And Helmy had said a minute ago he needs that magazine. So yeah, just 8:30. Be ready for the about 10 minutes here. We'll do the trivia. 8:30 Eastern time. But Gorgo media book in the next month. Vinegar Syndrome announced the release. Oof, yeah. Lizard King, seriously can't wait to have the figure in hand. Yes, me too. And being able to help you guys at a few cons and seeing Gorgo figure in person. Yeah, you've had the chance to be at a few cons so far, and Everett's got one coming up.
Yes.
All right. Good to have you. Epic plush too. He's loving that. Needs a smaller one now for the baby. All right. Pets want to be part of the live stream. Yes. And G-Man of War 54 got the plush. New movie release. Already pre-ordered the Gorgo set. Let's get Gorgo trending. I mean, that is what is so cool about this, that you had definitely gotten the trending, the hashtag Gorgo. I'm just going to tell you to take credit for it. Goji Fan 90 this is in the house. Good to have you. Box looks fantastic. Can't wait to get his, and hope you guys do more non-Toho kaiju from other films as well. Anything that you're able to announce at this point?
I have a few sticks in the fire. So we have offers out for Reptilicus and Young Gary. When those get signed and finalized, I don't know, but the contracts are out there for them to sign and for them to get their checks whenever they want them. So
now, when we're speaking of Youngary, are we talking the Showa or are we talking the CGI reptilian reboot?
It's the 1967 version.
Yes,
Showa, baby. Showa how it's done. Adrian's in the house. Good to have you, Godzilla Train 1090. And we're so close. How about Transparent? Yeah, could probably be done. It's part of the thought process.
We did the good thing about Transparent stuff is they're very easy to do, right? Just because it's just a different plastic, right? And it's not a different paint app, right? Because this is another thing I've learned over the years is they actually make a mold for painting it, right? So like they don't hand paint it all, right? They have like a piece of plastic that comes down on like say the face of Gorgo, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see it, but like there's a little dot eye there, right? So what they do is they just have a piece of plastic come down and it just is sprayed. They just spray paint it right and it's good to go. And it creates better uniformity and less, like random paint going places, right? So that's something new I've learned because I guess part of me always thought they just had a bunch of people in a line painting them, right? So apparently it's not how it's done. But yeah, definitely the good thing about transparent figures is they're really cool looking, especially if you make them glow in the dark too. Just a big, make a big green one that glows in the dark, right? So that's always what I like doing.
That was one of the questions, doing a glow figure of Gorgo like you did with Titanicus.
Yep. So kind of the similar thought process.
Yeah. So the sky's the limit, and just got to figure out if all these things are possible. Yeah, I got some excitement for Youngary, and of course, being Showa. Do you have an ape figure? Oh wow! Good night. Okay, yeah. So, I was going to ask you a little about the the of course what you've got in the sculpt, what Dope Pope had so just amazingly put together with his great 3D work and all of that, coming from the film. I remember when we had him on in the last show, talking about the film was literally his reference point, and then thinking about, like you said, it was a very dark green, but that underbelly looks so good, the way it pops, and it's going to look great on that shelf where a lot of your kaiju figures don't have that shade that's going on there. I think that just really lends itself well.
So yeah, this is a big stress point, I know, for quite a few people, because the first prototype, right, didn't have that, right, because the shading was very, very dark. It just looked like it was mostly just green, right? So we went back and adjusted the paint app there. I mean,
so nice.
Right, so because if you see the film, right, the problem is Gorgo is at night the entire time. So getting a shot that actually kind of shows his underbelly, it was a pain, right? And then, he's also got the undershading on the arms and then on the interior of the legs. So,
Yeah, love that that articulation in the foot.
Oh yeah, and I can get out the good old final prototype here.
Yeah, and you said the other Big Ben was glued together, but this one you'll be able to show what it does, like in last night's Twitter X stream you did.
Let's do that real quick. So here's the good Big Ben, right? Pops off. This has a little bit of a chunky part to it, but this is the part that really we cared a lot about, was to make sure that you could put it in Gorgo's hands here, right, and hold it. And then obviously still have the base too. And they slide back together. And then the little baby.
Oh, nice.
Right. So then you can see the underbelly stays there. You can barely see it, but the eyes are painted on him along with his little toes and everything. I mean, and then if I just set him right in front of his mom. I feel like my name tag is in the worst place right now, but you can see it comes up to about the knee on the mom.
Fantastic.
And then here's your glow-in-the-dark head. In daylight, doesn't really help a lot, but you can kind of see that it's basically the same paint app, except these eyes will glow. And then we give you both heads just because, some people don't want to display it with the glow-in-the-dark head. Okay. And then these are always the ones that get me in trouble, as the jets, because they're so
right
hard to get out.
While you're doing that, is the open jaw articulated, or is it just straight up open jaw?
No, it opens and closes.
And both heads are the same way. Just one's glowy.
So this one, this guy is this is the original sample. He's a little loosey goosey. This is the final guy, right? And there you go.
There we are.
And then you have your little planes, Not a ton but they then come with little sticks, super high fancy pipe cleaners. But then you put the plane on there. These are completely bendable and posable. And then you have a little base. Stick the plane right in there. And there you go. Right. And then you can put all three of them on there. It does become a little bit of a balancing problem, just, with fulcrums, wanting to get three of them on there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's everything you get in the set. And then the other thing I wanted to show, if I can clear off enough space here in front of me anymore, is put this camera down real quick. See if I can get it to where you can see Gorgo standing. But what I'm trying to show you here is these feet here, right, articulate there, right? And you are able to, if you want, have the figure stand up just on his toes.
Ah.
You just gotta give him a little squeeze. Then, get him actually in the right pose. But yeah, so if you can see here, right, his heels are not on the ground at all. So it's just focused on those foot articulation points, which is a big stress point for us, right? Because it's very hard to get a figure sometimes to balance without its tail, right? But since we're able to do it just where he's on his toes, right? This gives, if you're a collector of this stuff, right, it gives you another dynamic posing option that a lot of figures won't.
Yeah, there's enough foot on that platform.
I was going to say those 3 big giant toes help a lot.
Right, yeah.
Oh, well, just that is fantastic, and it gives me so excited to get that. And before we get into the trivia, the pre-orders were closed, but is there still a chance for people to purchase, or is there extras you purchased?
So if you haven't ordered yet, first of all, you should have ordered by now. But second of all, I think I have 4 more on the site, just because we had PowerCon, and then we also had Godzilla Fest in San Francisco. We went to for a day because they showed Gorgo there. But so we have, I think, 4 more just left on the site. You can pre-order, and then after that, there'll be some in stock when the shipment gets here. But that's varies, just depends on the condition of all of them, because I'm not going to ship out toys that have been dented and look bad. So the sooner you order, the safer it is, and the better it is for everyone.
All right, awesome. Well, we're going to get into some trivia here, and hopefully there's still plenty of people in the chat. Everett, before we get into trivia, what should everyone in the stream do at this moment, if they haven't already?
Well, you need to subscribe, hit that atomic blast, that like button, subscribe to the Monster Report. Nick Adams, great guy. Again, pre-order Gorgo if you haven't, get your order in, and subscribe to GodzillaFanFreaks too.
Yeah, you got to get that self-promotion in there, like my good buddy Nate Marchand from Monster Island Film Bolts. Say shameless self-promotion. And and of course TitanicCreations.com, correct?
Yep. So just TitanicCreations.com.
Yep. I'll show the website after we do our trivia here for the Life magazine Godzilla King of the Monsters special that was released this year. So I'll keep score. Everett's going to help me with the trivia. Don't answer, you gentlemen, until of course it's time to get the questions, closed up. So we'll go one by one. I'll do the odds. Everett will do the evens, and we'll ask everyone in the chat. Just post in the chat there in the comment section there of the chat your answers. So everyone ready? If you're not, it is time. So this is from the film Gorgo. Everything about the film Gorgo. The name of Joe and Sam's ship. They have a little bit of a wreck at the beginning there with a volcano, and they have to park it and get some repairs done. But what was the name of their ship? Put it in the comments here. For 1 point. Or Godzilla magazine. Anyone who needs it. Somebody's got to know this one. While we're waiting on some answers, tell me about the Tucson Kaiju Festival. If they're in the chat and they don't know about the Tucson Kaiju Festival, Everett, tell them about it.
Yes. So I am the creator of the Tucson Kaiju Festival. It is basically my own little, Kaiju con that I threw together, and I started it back in 2019 and wanted to do it yearly after that. But then, of course, the world exploded and wasn't able to do so. So finally bringing it back, and actually in 2019, I named it the Tucson Godzilla Festival. And just to avoid any copyright issues, I just changed it to the Tucson Kaiju Festival, which still has an amazing ring to it. I am bringing it back this year. It is on Godzilla's birthday, November 3rd. Special guest is Nick Adam himself here from the Monster Report, and Chris, GodziFan93, will also be there. And we are just going to have a fun, fulfilled day. It's going to be filled with trivia contests. There's going to be a video game contest. There's going to be kids kaiju drawing all day, to where kids 12 and under can submit their drawing of Godzilla or just a made-up kaiju or another kaiju from this franchise that we love so much. And the way I'm actually thinking about doing that is probably be doing a live video with Nick and Chris here in the GodzillaFanFreaks headquarters, going through drawings, depending how many we have. If we get something crazy like 2,000 drawings, probably won't do it that way. But I figured we would go through the drawings ourselves, and between the three of us, pick a winner and do it in the video, and then we'll have a giveaway for that. And of course, you know, at behind the drawings, you know, the parents can choose to put the email or phone number, and then we can get in contact with them that way. I can hand deliver the main prize for that. But there's going to be panels, there's vendors. It's just going to be a full-fledged atomic blast kaiju fun-filled day. And I am so happy to bring it back. A lot of people are excited, and I can't wait. And hopefully it's a big enough turnout that we can continue to do this every year.
Awesome. Yep. And I'll ask you another question about the Kaiju Festival here in between our next chat. But we did have a correct answer. Gojirasaurus, the Triton. That I kind of started with a hard one, so that's that was a stumper. Actually, that's okay. The rest of them may not be so difficult, but we shall see. So Everett.
All right. The second question for 1 point. Gorgo makes his first appearance on the shores of what island?
All right. Awesome. G-Man of War 54, just a little late, but maybe you can answer this question. Off the shores of what island? We're talking the film Gorgo. And so the Tucson Kaiju Festival, just to make sure, time, date, and location, or date, time, and location.
It'll be November 3rd on Godzilla's birthday. No other perfect day to host something like this. And we have an answer, Nara Island. That is correct.
Got it.
But yes, so November 3rd, it's going to be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's going to be at Bookman's here in town, Tucson, their east location off of Speedway and Wilmot, if you are familiar with Tucson or the Tucson area.
Awesome. All right. And of course, they can follow GodzillaFanFreaks for the details coming up. So
yep.
Awesome. All right. And Helmy got the answer. G-Man of War 54, just a little late on that, but I'll bet you'll get the next one. So this one, from the film Gorgo. What mythical creature is Gorgo named after? They do mention this in the film, especially from the Mr. Dorkin. I just thought that was such a funny name, and Mystery Science Theater had a heck of a time with that name when that started coming up when they did this. So funny, that episode. Have you both seen the MST3K? I was going to say, and that scene with Leonard Maltin at the beginning, you know, that was kind of cool, actually, having him on there, a film critic. So yeah, okay, we've got it. We've got G-Man of War 54. It is the Gorgon. Yes. So you got a point in there. Gorgon Medusa would have accepted, or just Medusa, yes. So I like this one, though. Gorgonzola. Very nice. All right, Everett.
All right. Question number 4. What bridge does the Mother Gorgo destroy in London?
Got it. This was also answered in MST3K, and my good friend Richard Pusateri, commenter on the commentary on All Monsters Attack or Godzilla's Revenge, had mentioned that to me too, had corrected me on that. You would think it would be London Bridge, Helmy, but it actually is. Gojirasaurus got it. Tower Bridge.
Nice.
Gojirasaurus is on the board with 2 points. Helmy with 1. And I think, who was it with the... I forget who had the other one. It was...
G-Man of War.
G-Man 54.
G-Man of War. Yeah, G-Man of War had another one with that third. Okay, yeah, that third question. My autocorrect keeps just going to Man of War. It's like, it's G-Man of War. I get it. I love it. All right, Tower Bridge it is, not London Bridges falling down. Here's one that'll be quick. Fill in the blank. Professor Flattery says, the infant, the adult. Joe Ryan replies, that would make it nearly how many feet tall? And it's a good guess based on a diagram that they had looking at 2 T-Rexes or whatever. So, yeah. 85. Sniped it.
200 feet tall is correct.
GodzillaFan 85. Isn't he Helmy? Good guess, 65, but it was 200. That'd make it nearly 200 feet tall. Jack Ryan had it. Okay. Everett.
All right, question number 6. Name the famous Stanley Kubrick film William Sylvester Sam was cast in.
It's one of my favorite classics of all time. I would say greatest film of all time. Not quite, but it is a favorite. And 2001, you are correct. Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Gojirasaurus is pairing it up with 1, 2, 3 points on the board. Very close. 2001, yes, A Space Odyssey. William Sylvester. He was also in another MST3K film. Bonus points if you know that film. Another one that MST3K had made fun of. Bonus points. Tell me, this is your chance to, well, maybe tie it up. Get close, anyways. William Sylvester. He was in another film. I'll give you a little hint. This film was in black and white. And let's say maybe it inspired a later film series called Child's Play. See if anyone knows that one. Someone's next to a highway. Everett, you're looking at me like, what the heck is he talking about? What movie? Do you know the movie?
I don't, actually. I don't.
Daniel's got it.
Devil Doll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Devil Doll, yes. Daniel. It was a bizarre movie. Okay. Final question in trivia. Originally, this film was... Oh, I should have left you to say that, right, Everett? Or was I supposed to?
Let's see. 8. That's a even number, so...
You know what? I did them out of order. So I'll let you read this one. I'll do the...
Question number 8. Originally, this film was set to be in what country?
Brett, Australia. Sorry. G-Man of War's got it.
Japan.
Very close. Gojirasaurus, very good guess, but nope. All right. My score is up to date here. So, yeah, Helmy got that. Or did G-Man of War? No,
G-Man of War, or did Helmy get it?
I am trying to look. No, Helmy did get it. I am sorry, G-Man of War. Helmy did get that. So he is correct. Okay, and I went out of order, so I'll read question 7 here.
Nice.
Fourth win, actually. So, Helmy, you've got 2 points. Gojirosaurus with 3. We might even come up with a tiebreaker, Helmy, if you get the next one. Daniel with 1. GodzillaFan85 with 1. G-Man of War with 1. Okay, so here we go. Final question, and then I'll maybe come up with one that's a bonus so we can do the tiebreaker if we get a tiebreaker. So, drum roll. Name another monster movie Eugene Laurie directed. The director of Gorgo. Well, Helmy, you have the chance to tie. You do. So Eugene Laurie, great classic director. There were 3, so there's one of 2 possibilities. There were 3 giant monster movies he directed, Gorgo being one of them. 2 others. Helmy with the layup, and that gives me a tiebreaker. Helmy with 3, and Gojirosaurus with 3. So I would have either accepted Giant Behemoth or Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. And let's see. Does either of my co-host or my guest have a Gorgo trivia that we can do for the tiebreaker? Okay, so I'm taking this out. Tell me your tiebreaker question.
All right, guys, tiebreaker question. And this one, it's kind of easy, but what's going to make it hard is who can type the fastest. Gorgo was the name of the baby. What was the name of the mother?
Thunderdome time. One kaiju enters. See what happens. Gojirosaurus and Helmy, this is for you. I'll only accept answers from Gojirosaurus or Helmy. Did he get it correct? Did Helmy get it correct? I don't know if Helmy's a he or she. Everett, can you see the chat?
Let me see here. I'm trying to. I don't think.
Gojirosaurus said Ogra.
Yep. Gojirosaurus got it. Ogra. Yep.
And Orga was the other. Orga's a different monster. Ogra. Okay. So Gojirosaurus. Yay! 1 millisecond. Sorry, Helmy, but I tell you what, Helmy, you did a great job. Just send me your address, Helmy. Send me your address, Gojirosaurus, in the not in the chat, but on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, X. And find me on Monster Report, any of those platforms there, and I will get you both something. But Gojirosaurus, you are the winner of the Life Godzilla King of the Monsters magazine. So great job. Can I pay my rent with the winnings? I guess you could sell it, but why would you want to?
How about I spice it up for Gojirosaurus? Would you like Nick Adams to sign it?
It may devalue it.
Hey, come on, Nick. My second G-Fest, I had tons of people coming up to me, and I was signing G-Fest programs and all that stuff. I was blown away.
I'm trying to be humble about this one, Everett. And I have never signed anything. So yeah, I've never needed to. I'm just glad to do content creation and talk to great content creators like you gentlemen. So thank you so much. But if you'd like Everett to sign it, I'm sure he will, because he's actually the GodzillaFanFreaks. So, all right. Yeah. Awesome. Gojirosaurus. Yep, absolutely. So you and Helmy, send me your information over Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter in DMs, and we'll get back with you. So, Mac, we're down to our last 10 minutes here. Any other announcements, any kind of thank yous, any kinds of shout outs that you'd like to throw out about any other Titanic products or anything related to Gorgo?
So let's try to knock this out. So I'll do thank yous first. First of all, I always want to thank Dope Hope for his amazing work on this. Obviously, I'm not a sculptor, and without him, this doesn't go there. Also, need to thank Matt Frank for his great contributions to this. It makes it a much more, impressive item, I think, due to his amazing artwork. Also to everyone in my family who helps with this. I'm sure they're going to be angry at me when I ask them to help me deal with 900 boxes that have to go out to the post office. Also, probably should thank the post office who has to deal with me for the end of September. Right? They're not going to like me very much. But so all of that. Then moving on to announcements. So Gorgo will ship into the month, as we talked about already. And then moving on from that, we're going to do our 30 centimeter statue Gorgo. So this is going to be one that's really focused on high-end paint. It's going to be like an X Plus Gorgo figure. That will probably be up on the site mid-October. Goal is you'll probably get a flyer with your Gorgo figure explaining ordering and pricing on that. After that, next thing is we've partnered with James Gorman. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He does a lot of Safui stuff. He's going to be doing a Gorgo figure that'll come out later in 2024. So it's going to be kind of a Safui one, kind of a more Americanized version than your standard M1 one, right? Then after that, obviously, we are working to grow this line with Reptilicus and Young Gary. That should probably be something that comes out in 2024. The figures will go out. I don't know when we'll be able to start showing art for it because the sculpts on both of them are done. I just need stuff to be signed and delivered to me. So that is all bacon and everything. So the goal is, right, we want to continue to. Oh, and then finally, we're going to release our Gorgo comic book that's going to come out in March of next year. That's going to be a 60-page book. It's going to be split in, so it's going to be 3 parts, 60 pages each, and it'll be a prequel to the film Gorgo.
Wow.
Nice.
And so then that's kind of where we're going from here, and that's the roadmap for at least the next 18 months of my life is doing old kaiju stuff for there.
I want to go to your website here in a minute so everyone can check it out. But tell me, actually, we do have a question in the chat before I get to my question. So for Mac, did you consider a London bus with Gorgo poster on the side as a pledge milestone?
Yeah, so I thought about doing cars, right? And what eventually ended up being the problem is getting the wheels to spin, which I know you don't have to do, right? But I feel like if you're going to pay as much as this thing was, right, I would want it to work, and I think we'll probably do something like that in the future. It just kind of depends on what we want to do with future releases in this scale, right? Just because, I don't want to have people because there are quite a few people who buy, these to put on their shelves and to look at in the box and everything. I don't want to devalue their investment to a certain degree, right? By just being the printer going for new figures constantly.
Yeah. I gotcha. I'm going to take us to the Titanic Creations. I keep wanting to say Titanicus. Titanic Creations website here and check things out with it. So there's our big Gorgo. And of course, go to TitanicCreations.com and check out what they've already got, what Mac is already offering along the lines of the kaiju figures and your comic line. And of course, you'll be able to check out the Gorgo pre-order there for the Gorgo comic, and that's cool, very awesome. And of course, all of your other crazy original kaiju that you have. There's our plush Soul of War graphic novel. So lots of cool stuff that's going on at TitanicCreations.com. Where can they find you on social media?
So easiest way to find us is at Titanic Creations. It's not going to have 2 C's because that place makes cupcakes and they stole it before I got to use it. So it's just Titanic drop the C on Creations and you'll find us.
Okay, so both Facebook, Twitter, or
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm not on LinkedIn yet, so there you
but
go.
the big three, Titanic Creations is where to find him, and follow and check out all kinds of cool stuff that you've got. And any cons coming up? I know you mentioned that you were at PowerCon and at Godzilla Fest, right?
Yep. So those were our last two scheduled on the calendar for this year. I also am planning on still trying to get down to Tucson for Kaiju Fest down there, which works out great because my girlfriend actually has family down there, so it works out really well for us to come to that.
Perfect. Just let me know and I will solidify you a spot.
Nice. There you go. Right.
You can have my table or we could share a table. I'd be glad to have you right there with us and selling some Gorgo and other Titanic Creations, Kaiju, the books. You'll be able to bring other merch, right?
Yep. So we'll probably, just a day show. We're going to be flying. So we'll probably bring a fair amount of stuff, right? But, just there'll be enough for if you stop by the table, you'll get some fun stuff.
That'll be awesome. All right. So thank you so much, Mac, for your time. GodzillaFanFreaks Everett, did you have any last comments or questions for Mac?
Not at all. I hope to see you at the Tucson Kaiju Festival.
Yep, for sure.
All right, excellent. I let's stick around afterwards, and we'll see if we can't get some plans solidified and go over some details. But again, thank you, Mac, for your time and for what you've contributed to the fandom, to collectors like us, adult collectors that just like to fill our shelves with something truly unique, which is Gorgo. I have not actually collected any of the other Gorgo figures that are out there, and for Gorgo fans, there wasn't a whole lot. There was that, those figures. And other than that, it's like home video and some comics. And so getting an articulated figure, the 30 centimeter that you've got coming out later, and some variants, it is very cool to see that. And it's so interesting that this is, in my opinion, a very underrated kaiju, non-Japanese kaiju to get a hold of. And there's actually so much, about this film that is very re-watchable, and that's what's cool about getting that VCI release and the Vinegar Syndrome release. And of course, you've got a great team working with you to bring the figure, the box art, everything that goes into this, because it's I know it can't be easy, and figuring out all the shipping and costs, expenses, and all that. I don't envy you the headache you went through.
No, trust me. Like, I always, basically when people ask me, like, "Oh, so what do you do?" I'm like, I do all the boring stuff that no one wants to hear about. Right? I don't sculpt. I don't do any of that. I deal with emails, basically. Right? So yeah.
We need that, though. We need
Right.
the Office Space guy to be able to figure it all out. That's the nuts and bolts that really do make that come to life, because you can have a dream, but it's like, do you have the logistics? Do you have the money? Do you have the ability to raise the money?
Right. It's always the no fun stuff. Like we're doing, this is boring, but we're doing customs imports, right? And like, it's amazing to me how many random fees you can have to bring something in to the country. It's like, here's your harbor fee, here's your put it on a boat fee, and it's just great. It's not a problem at all. Everything's gonna be great, but just want to get these things out to everybody because they don't do any good sitting in my garage.
Yeah. Here's the bribe that you need to slip the harbor master. Oh wait, that's the guy in Gorgo that island. That's really crooked, corrupt harbor master. Goodness gracious. To make sure that you can get some fresh water, or at least, can you unpack my Gorgo figures off the ship and not destroy them, please?
Exactly, right? Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Nightmare fuel there for you. Yongari is definitely going to be a cool one, too. You got some excitement built for Yongari and Reptilicus there. I think you've got a good following, and so I definitely encourage everyone to follow Titanic Creations, follow Godzilla FanFreaks, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Am I missing anything?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. Excellent. And of course, here on the Monster Report, thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us for another episode of the Monster Report Live. Thank you all out there in the chat for joining in and indulging us and, just loving all things kaiju, all things Gorgo. And we're just so glad that you've been here with us for this hour conversation with Mac and Everett here. And we will catch you on another episode of the Monster Report Live. Like, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Monster Report's getting closer. That 95,800 subscribers is where we are right now. And get us over that just a little bit more, just a little bit to get me over to 100,000 subscribers. But it's not because of me. It's because of you guys, the fans. And I know Mac and Everett are the same way with their followers and for their, Mac's purchasers, everyone who has been able to get into this. It's because of you guys, the fans, that make any of this possible. So again, thank you. Cannot thank you enough. And we will catch you on another episode of the Monster Report Live in the near future. Thank you and have a great evening.